Babylon said jail for me, but the judge said bail for me. Somebody tell the jury, Jack control my destiny. Yeah, man. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. And put on some, because it get chilly out here in Florida today. And you know, man, if you take care of your lip and them something, your lip can look like sidewalk. You know what I say? Anyhow, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about Vybz Kartel. And I'm starting it off by saying that Vybz Kartel will be free come February 14th and 15th of this year, 2024. I'm saying he will be free if the Privy Council is unbiased, if they are fair, and if there is no isms and schisms going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? People can read between the lines what I mean by isms and schisms. You know, government and government conspire to keep a certain person in a certain position because of their influence and power and all these other certain kind of things. You know, all the stuff that people say, all the theories that are out there. If none of that is true, and if the Privy Council really stands for justice, Vybz Kartel, Sean Storm, the rest of the man, them, matter of fact, they don't even have nothing in this case, pan Sean Storm, them. Them just grab Kartel, and they grabbed all his brethren with him, and then fling all of them in there. They were like, yo, we'll give you less time, you know, if you just say you see him do it. They're like, no. That's why them say Sean Storm, the new name for loyalty is Sean Storm. Because when you're looking at a life sentence, friend, and your brethren next to you know you didn't do it, but they about to fling him away too, right? It's easy for police to say, well, here what? All you have to do is sign this paper right here. A statement has been written, or we need you to say that you saw him do it. Give us something to close the case with. You know how quick a lot of us friends would sell us up the river when faced with a life sentence? They're like, man, fuck that. I know he didn't do it, but I'm not going in there for no damn life. They want him. So all me have to do, I say him do it. Yes, me see him do it. Sign here. Gone on me yard. I'm free. Him in there doing a life sentence. Sean Storm them say, no. Y'all want me to lie and say I saw something that I did not see. Them say, yeah. Go on up in there too. And that's how Sean Storm them end up in there too. They don't have nothing again. They don't have nothing else. And shout out to the people who say, yo, SouFlo, how come y'all always saying free Vybz Kartel, but y'all never say free the rest of the man them? The reason why we never say free the rest of the man them, the rest of the man them know say, if Kartel gets free, the rest of them by default will be free as well. Because there was nothing that held them in there in the first place other than guilty by association with Vybz Kartel. And if his whole thing was botched, then everybody got to let go, right? Basic understanding. Now, for those who are seeking to understand this case, before the case goes to Privy Council, which, by the way, is going to be televised according to Isaac Buchanan, and if it's televised, then we over here, SouFLoTV, plan on going live because we are going to watch it live because we want our reaction and Gaza Nation reaction as soon as the verdict comes down. We're keeping our fingers crossed. We're praying that it works out in favor of, but you know how court something go already. We're not even going to speak nothing else into existence other than Vybz Kartel will be free. Here are the things that we think the Privy Council will look at, cannot pass over, and if they are just and they look at these things, Kartel will be free. Let's start out with the first one. The house. First of all, let me make a disclaimer. I go live Monday to Friday, right? About 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Every morning almost. Every now and then I take one day off out of the week. And when I go live, my phone lines are open. Nobody has ever been able to call in and debate with me on the details of the Vybz Kartel case and walk away a winner and make me look like I didn't know what I was talking about. In other words, then, I have studied this case backwards, forward, up and down and left and right, every angle you could think of. So when I speak about this case, I'm not speaking about this case as a fan of Vybz Kartel music. I'm speaking about this case as a fan of justice. I'm speaking about this case as a person who actually studied this case completely over and over, right? All right. The first thing that the Privy Council have to take a look at, the house that was demolished. The house, when the house was demolished, the house took away any chance of an independent forensic team to go into that house, use luminol or whatever else technology is up to date to see if any blood splatter, any DNA, anything was out of place that indicated that the person who they say is a victim was victimized indeed in that house. Now you must understand this. It is not your duty to prove to the court that you're not wrong. It is their duty, the prosecution's duty, to prove to the court that what they said happened. So once Vybz Kartel was convicted, I remember his team immediately said, oh yeah, we're definitely going all the way. We're definitely going to be appealing this, and if it takes that, we will appeal it all the way to the Privy Council in the UK. That is what was said. Now, when that was said, that should have been grounds for the Jamaican government to leave that house right where it was at. Why would you demolish a house that could solidify your case? Ask yourself that. If that house held any truth as to what happened, why would you, the government, the prosecution, demolish that house? Yes, the house caught on fire. Yes, the house burnt, but the house wasn't completely burnt down. And the theory that they had was that Lizard was attacked inside of that house. He was bludgeoned to death. These are the details. He was bludgeoned to death with a pickaxe stick and a pickaxe. And then he was dismembered inside of that residence. Here's the thing, my guys, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot just come up and say SouFLoTV killed a man in that house right there, and it was a bloody murder, and he beat him to death with a pickaxe stick and bludgeoned him with the sharp ends of the pickaxe. Anybody with sense knows that that description alone says blood should be everywhere. And then he was dismembered. What I've learned by watching CSI, Forensic Files, and all these realistic shows when it comes to crime and solving crime here in the US is that you can't hide. Once you splatter the room with blood and all this other stuff, that stuff you cannot hide, right? I've seen them find DNA, blood splatter, years down the line. Even after a carpet was bleached out. Them lift up the carpet, there's a wooden floor under the carpet. They went between the cracks of the wooden floor and digged out just enough DNA to take it to the lab, liquefy it, and get it tested. And it showed that the victim was indeed in the accused killer's trailer. One particular story. So I'm just saying, they demolished that house. And that did not leave it there for Vybz Kartel's team to hire their own independent forensic team to go into that house and actually say, was there anything found in it? So, in essence, the theory that the defense came with is not the theory that was proven in court. So, long story short, the DPP or defense, not defense, the DPP, Department of Public Prosecution, the prosecution rather, they did not prove their case in court. Not the defense, the prosecution. They did not prove their case in court. Their case was not proven in court. All right, I repeat. Now, the other one the Crown failed to make their case. When you accuse somebody, you have to prove that your theory is correct. You have to prove that your accusations are actually right, that it came with evidence. You understand? Right. Now, the biggest one of them all in the Vybz Kartel case, there's so many. I don't know if y'all remember when Vybz Kartel case was being tried, right? There was one instance in his case being tried where one of the jurors on that trial actually was married to a policeman that works in the same building where his case was being tried. And the policeman was downstairs at work. And when they took a break, that jury member would go downstairs and have lunch with her husband. Now, what do you think she's discussing? She's discussing what's going on in the case upstairs, right? Right. And then when break time done, she would go back and sit back on the jury. So that, I won't even bring all that up. Let's get to this one, because everybody knows about this one, and I can't overstate how important this piece is. So Kartel is arrested. His personal cell phone is taken. It's put in evidence room for evidence. Just like in the YNW Melly trial, they have his cell phone, right? And they're going through all the stuff, the forensics of the phone, the metadata of the phone. They can track by satellite where your location was at the time of this date, this time period, etc., right? All right. When that phone was in the evidence room, a police officer went into the evidence room, and out of all the cell phones in that evidence room, he took Vybz Kartel's cell phone. He not only took it, he took it home with him. He used it to do multiple things. And then he brought it back a different time, a different day. And he put it back in the evidence room. What is the name of that piece of evidence when something like that is done? It doesn't take a law student, a grad of law school, somebody who passed the bar. It doesn't take anybody of superior high intelligence to know that that is heavily tampered with evidence that cannot be admitted in court and used against somebody, especially when you're talking about giving somebody a life sentence. It happened, and I'm just like baffled. Baffled is the word. I am baffled that people sweep over that part so easily. Did y'all know that a forensic expert flew into the country and finally got the chance to inspect this device? And among certain things that was said by this forensic expert, this independent forensic expert, which means they were not here for the Jamaican government and they were not here for Vybz Kartel team. They came to do a job, and then they will give their findings and they will fly back out of the country. Did you know that their finding was that, one, there is no possible way that certain messages that were found on that phone that were used in this case to convict Kartel them, there is no possible way that that message would have connected with a murder of the individual who they said was murdered, simply because of the time period of when those messages were made. Right. They even said the only way is if he must have been a prophet or something, or he must have pre-predicted this from way long ago and started making messages to match from way back when. But it didn't match. Also, his location on the phone does not put him anywhere in the vicinity of what they're saying happened, right? that too. It is your constitutional right that whatever evidence is going to be brought against you in a court of law, that evidence or that material must be given to your defense team so that you and your defense team can mount a proper defense. Vybz Kartel's team was not given access to that cell phone to go through it with an independent expert until recently, until after years of this man being in prison. His constitutional right was violated. People don't talk about that. And back to the simple fact that a police officer, and you know, I keep on asking everybody, I said, where is this police officer? Because it's like him just disappeared into the night. And people are saying that never happened. It did. The police officer came to court. He stood before the judge. The judge says, why would you do something like that? Why did you take the phone and bring the phone home with you knowing that that phone is a serious piece of evidence in a high-profile case? You know what the police officer said? The police officer said, me run out of minutes, Your Honor, because I didn't have any minutes. His phone ran out of minutes, so him just got in at the evidence room, and out of all the phones to choose, he chose Vybz Kartel's phone, fresh new phone, and gone with it. If y'all remember when Vybz Kartel, and then the police officer lied on top of that, because when asked, what did you do with the phone, the police officer said, me never do nothing with it, me just make one phone call, and then me bring it come back. The very fact that you left with it makes it null and void and should never have been used. But to show you that he lied, all of Vybz Kartel business went to the internet. And back then, this is a decade ago, internet wasn't like how it is now. Everybody was like, yo, blood clot, I fuck Kartel, I fuck the girl in her body. Yo, what them I do? And them, you know, and it was all these girls in there of Galagim head and this and that. Who leaked that to the media? Who leaked that to the public? Who leaked all those pictures to the internet from his personal phone? It only one person could have done it. And it's that same damn police officer who said him never do nothing with the phone. All he did was make one phone call and then him bring it come back the next day. So y'all see what I'm saying? There is absolutely no way unless the Privy Council is in some kind of cahoots with Jamaican government. If they are not, if they are being clean and pure and they are standing for justice, Vybz Kartel, come February 14th and 15th, those are the days, Vybz Kartel will be free. Remember me telling you that. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. And please don't leave no foolish ass comment because you don't like Kartel and because you think him a killer and him for their jail. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm a person that reasons with intelligence, as you might be able to gather, right? So please, if you're going to try to refute anything that I have said, please do so intelligently. Otherwise, I'll probably end up removing your comment from the comment section, so you will have wasted your time leaving it there in the first place. Keep it intelligent. You have to keep it respectful over here. I'll catch y'all on the next video, and remember, 14th and 15th, we are going live when they go live, because Isaac Buchanan said it will be televised. See you then. I'm out. Peace.